Hey there guys, welcome back to the next episode of our combat system tutorial series. In today's video, we are going to be working on adding in sprinting. We're going to make it so that when we sprint, our stamina decreases, and then also increase stamina when we are not sprinting. All right, let's get started. First things first, we're going to come to our third-person character folder here, and we're going to come to actions. I've already made one, but what you're going to do is right-click, go to input action, and name it IA_sprint. Okay. Once you do this, now you have our input made here. We're going to come to the IMC defaults page. When you're here, you're going to come up to the top and press mappings. Once you do that, you're going to click from the drop-down menu and select IA_sprint. Now I have my sprint key bound to left shift. You can make this whatever you'd like. The key is, though, make sure you click right here on the keyboard, and the next button that you press will be the key that it is bound to. Okay? Once you do that, we can come back to our third-person character, and we are going to make a node called IA_sprint. Now, let's make sure that this sprint key is working. We're going to say, once this is started, print string, and hello is fine. We can just have it say that. If we press that, there we go. So the key's working. Now, next thing that we want to do is we want to create a variable here, okay? And we want to set this variable name to be can sprint, question mark. So are we able to sprint? So what we'll say is when sprinting is started, we are able to sprint. We're going to run a branch. And our condition will be can sprint. So if we are able to sprint, then we are going to set, here, we'll do, if you type in movement component, or actually, max walk speed, there we go, set max walk speed, we'll say, just so it's easy to tell, set max walk speed to 1,000. For our target pin here, this will be our character movement component. Character movement. All right. Now, if we just did this, let's see what happens. Okay, we start sprinting, but you notice we can't stop. Okay? So that's not good, right? We want to be able to stop sprinting. So what we're going to say is when the sprint is completed, we will set our max walk speed again, but this time we'll set it back to 500. Okay, the same thing, make sure you plug in the target here, and we will compile and save. So now when we sprint, we increase speed, and when we stop holding it, we go back down to regular speed. Now that's all fine and dandy, but there's nothing stopping somebody from just sprinting endlessly because we're not draining stamina. So they can just continue to sprint on and on and on. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make it so that stamina actually decreases. Now there's a few ways to do this. We could use our event tick and say, you know, if the character is sprinting, then decrease stamina. That would be one way. The problem is, though, you don't want to have too many things relying on event tick. And in this video, we're already going to be adding in a few things to event tick. So for the sake of optimization and limiting the amount of things that we have being run off of event tick, which is simply means that every essentially tick of the game, every processing second of the game is going to be checking that variable, okay? Checking that function. And we don't want it to do that. It's very performance heavy to have it checking a lot of different things. So we can work around that by doing an event timer. So what we're going to do is type in set timer by event. Okay. We're going to come to the return value here and do promote to variable. We can name this our SP loop, sprint loop. Okay. And make sure you check mark looping. Very important that you do this. And set the time to something like say 0.2. Decreases stamina every 0.2 seconds. Okay. And for the event, you're going to drag this off from the event node section and do custom event. We can just name this drain stam. Okay. So what it's going to do is every 0.2 seconds, it's going to run the event drain stamina. Now, what drain stamina is going to do is we're going to run it through a branch, and we're going to get can sprint. Okay. So if we can sprint, and we are sprinting, then we are going to decrease stamina. If we are not, what we're going to do is, once again, if we cannot sprint and we don't have stamina to drain, then we're going to set our max walk speed back to 500. Okay. For the target here, this will be our component player stats that we made in a previous video. Okay. And now our stamina lost, let's make it 2. That should be good enough for testing. Now what we're going to do is do another branch here using the no stamina left pin. This is essentially our Boolean variable that we will be using for the branch. And we're going to say, if we have no stamina left, we can no longer decrease stamina. So we're going to set can sprint to false. Now, if we do have stamina left, we can continue decreasing stamina, so therefore we can sprint. Okay? And now, just to make this easier now, what we're going to do is just see how this works, and then I'm going to show you why we need to add in a few more things still. So right now, if we hold down shift, you'll see the sprint bar is decreasing. But if we stop, it's also continuing to go. Okay? And it's never going to stop essentially going. So what we need to do, so it doesn't just continually drain our stamina, is come over here to the completed section, and we're going to clear and invalidate timer by handle. The handle is going to be the sprint loop. And we are going to set would it be can sprint or no? This is going to be the next variable that we're going to make because we still actually need to add one more variable to this. All right, so now if we hold down shift and let go, you'll see that we no longer will just continually drain stamina. Okay, but we're not increasing stamina, so there's no stamina regen. That wouldn't be very good if you can't increase your stamina again, because then, as you'll see now, we just can't sprint anymore. So, in order to fix that, what we're going to do is we are going to use our event tick, like I said before, but in a way that I think makes sense. So, most player stats will be run off of event tick because you're going to want them to just gradually increase whenever they're able. Okay? So, I've already went ahead and done this right here, just in my testing, but I'm going to show you guys real quick. We're going to grab the event tick node. And once again, make sure that you're doing this in the BP third person character. Okay. We're going to do the event tick node. We're going to do a branch. And we are going to make a new variable. This one will be is sprinting. If is sprinting is true, we don't want to increase stamina, so we're not going to do anything here. But if is sprinting is false, we do want to increase stamina. We don't want to increase stamina while we're sprinting. That would be redundant. So what we're going to do is plug in our target into the component player stats, and we'll say stamina added 1. Just for testing, that should be fine. Let's see what else we need to do here. Okay, so we're going to set, after our clear and invalidate timer, we will set is sprinting to false. Okay. If we are able to continue sprinting, we will set is sprinting to true. If we were not, we will set it to false. Am I missing anything here? This looks good. Compile and save. And now when we hold down shift, we're sprinting. If we stop, we regen our stamina. That might be a little bit too much regen, so let's bump that back a little bit. Obviously, this is something that you are able to adjust however you see fit for your game project. So if we sprint, we decrease, and we can increase again once we stop sprinting. All right, simple as that. Now, if you guys are having a bug where it might say, getting none while trying to access set %, okay, that's a possible bug that you might get from this. There's a few ways that you can fix this. Sometimes it might be if your bar is updating still, but you're getting the error. It could be something as simple as making sure that you don't have a delay. So in a previous video, we added a delay until next tick under the event graph and component player stats. If you go ahead and delete that, get rid of it, you should no longer have that bug. Okay. The other way to fix this would be going through and double checking that you are utilizing the right objects here. So you're going to want to cast from the third person character to the HUD widget to the stamina bar within the HUD widget. Okay, so it goes top to bottom in hierarchy here. Player character, then within the player character, the HUD widget, within the HUD widget, the stamina bar, and that goes to the target. So the way that we get that HUD widget, which we did in a previous video, is we attached it to our input mapping right here, create main HUD widget, and add it to viewport. Now, if you're still getting that error after getting rid of the delay, what you can do, instead of having it tied to event receive controller changed, tie this to event begin play, and it will function practically the same way. All right, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys for the support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.